The flewellen scam, the flewellen farm, is full of is pimping out their kids for content by suggestive TikToks, child endangerment, and I kid you not, a bonnet brand scam. Thing this girl could do is use a black woman audio, my lord. I don't think I've actually heard this woman speak.
It's a foreign man in a foreign land.
Every day we stream further and further from Christ. After the Naked Diva video dropped, y'all brought me a long list, like I'm talking a CVS receipt of what I could only call Shonda Rhimes' wet dreams.
Oh God.
Because it seems that there is a legion of mixed family influences that turn their households into sweatshops by hyper-focusing on their Netflix skin tone, Sims 2 curl patterns, and romanticizing whitening their bloodline. POV, you're slowly running out of ink with each child.
It got worse.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's about to get worse. It got worse. It got worse.
Please, can we stop in 2026 unmotivated editing? I've been a perpetrator of this crime as well. I had to grow up a little bit. There's no reason for you to have edited this right here. That didn't have to happen. And you also didn't need to do this. That edit don't even make sense. Why the dog just turn Kaioken after touching his Corbin Bleu son? This is full of this is the Flewellen family playing their greatest hits, which is the running out of ink joke. That's so funny. It seems like every interracial family TikTok makes it. This is one of the Flewellens' 4 children and their dad, Gerald, who is obsessed with his mixed kids. There's this brand of black men who don't date white women out of love, but more so out of like social mobility. More importantly, hypergamy. The kids are continents. They're epilogues for entry into a higher social class. And when you add the financial incentive the Flewellen family has had for commodifying their kids to biracial baby craze audiences, you'll see why every other TikTok this family makes centers race.
You are freaking African Americans plus Mark. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm rocking with Mark because Mark is rocking with us.
Singling out your kid because they're lighter is definitely a parenting choice. This out of ink joke, so funny that Gerald or Gerard or whatever your name is made it twice. And this man to the left that you could find at your local Trump rally made a stitch just smiling at it. Something spiritually don't sit right with this Duck Dynasty looking man just smiling at a black man talking about whitening his race. I can't prove it. But like, this the same dude browsing Black New World Order, romanticizing white boy extinction. Doja would be sending this man all kind of feet.
Oh God.
As this person right down here, John Crocker says, a white woman producing nappy-headed children is an abomination. So Alyssa Flewellen here saw that comment and decided to round up her nigglets and decide to clap back in a TikTok.
Teeny weeny, teeny weeny, shriveled little short dick man. Don't want.
Listen, cock shaming white dudes is low-hanging fruit, pun intended, and it only exacerbates the hate because in the comments of this, there's folks responding with the cave meme and the Alaskan bullworm meme. You don't get why that's their response. So let me break it down. They're trying to insinuate that Alyssa is only saying that the white dude that made this comment is small because she's had 5 kids with a black dude. They're trying to say that she ran through. But if you go to any forward-facing white woman creator that has a black partner, if you go to any of their comment sections, you will see the same thing. Same thing with that girl named Bobby Altoff, most notably known for doing the podcast. One of the reasons why people hate watch her, outside of like, to be honest, like she's not that entertaining. What people like to do with Bobby is that they say that she left her white husband for a black boyfriend, abandoned her kids to get ran through. You get this cross-pollination of symbiotic racism. And I say symbiotic because the only way Mr. Crocker here, Mr. John Crocker here, can even cosplay as the crackers at the keyboard meme, the only way that this white man could even do what he's doing right here is because the Flewellen family has built a platform positioning their kids at the forefront of this racial exhibition where they focus on the black traits slowly fading in favor of the white ones. It's one thing to innocently post pics of your kids on IG where you have like your friends as followers, which I grimace at in a world where Grok AI is literally digitally disrobing kids. But I get being a proud parent and you're proud of your kids and you want to post them. I understand that, right? Even when they can't consent to them being posted. But I digress. It's another thing to make an account predicated on not only showcasing your kids on a pedo playground of an app like TikTok, but also to racially essentialize your kids for content. This TikTok right here isn't Alyssa advocating for her beige colored kids. It's Alyssa and Gerald using their mixed kids as race bait for racists, fetishes. Both of those things aren't mutually exclusive. You can be racist to black people and still bounce from black cock.
Oh God.
They go hand in hand, actually. You can't love what you objectify because categorically, they're no longer humans. They're objects. POV, you have a white mom and a black dad.
Baby shark, baby.
Chopper sound like baby shark cause it go doo-doo-doo.
So I don't have to spell this one out for you, but playing a gangster version of Baby Shark, whatever it is, because you have a black husband and mixed kids, is a type of racist cringe that hurts my ass and burns my heart. It's even worse when you realize that the little mixed boy that can't, I hate to be talking about this little boy because he didn't ask for this, but I literally had to take a second and take a walk afterwards when I learned that the little boy name is, guess what? Not Braden, not Jaden. The little boy name is Emmett.
Oh God.
Like Emmett Till? Dog, send the flood. Send the flood, my lord. I telling you, dog, the child name is Emmett. I feel like Emmett is one of them names you gotta retire like a jersey. You definitely don't call your mixed child that you have with a white woman Emmett. Is that too woke? What you've seen so far is mild for where we going, because unlike Nika Diwa, the Flewellen fam got some illegal activities disguised as a wholesome mixed family that you could advertise on your school website to show you value diversity, but you really don't. You only have a couple of black people there and they can leave after the first semester. Let's meet Gerald, to the UPS man who delivered the whole package. Say what you want me do for sweet. Say what you want me do for sweet. Baby, put the ooh ah on me. Feel good, but I want the kind of. What in the Bang Bro setup is this? I'm sorry too, Driz. You can be even more sorry when you read these comments. Can we talk about the bookmarks? That's a good point. And in fact, I didn't even think about that. But yes, the bookmarks are absolutely heinous. Because why would you want to bookmark something like this? A whole new meaning of what brown can do for you. The family itself liked it. Of course, a black woman will call it out saying, this not giving what y'all thought it was. So before the Flewellen fam, Gerald worked for UPS. I believe they were together prior, which makes it even more annoying because why would you stage the sexual innuendo and then use the child to promote it? We know why, because this is the formula of using children to either directly say suggestive things or be the focal point of a suggestive act. And that's a mainstay in the family vlogging community, unfortunately.
Mommy, were you wrestling with Guy last night?
Why do you say that?
I heard you say pin me down.
Well, we were wrestling for fun.
Who won?
I won first and then your dad won after.
So like, no.
Oh God.
There's no doubt in my mind that they thought of that. They had to literally script this for the child. Think about it. But Nika Diwa been doing this from King Hatchet was a hammer. And these creators know what they're doing. In erotic content, the family taboo is one of the most, if not the most lucrative forms of adult film. So family vloggers take it a step further by teetering, if not teeted, with that very taboo in real life by having suggestive situations right next to the videos with their children or even involving their children in the videos themselves. Even when you go back to the video of Alyssa Flewellen clapping back at racists, she's clapping back at racists by using the audio, cock shaming the man, and she got her kids dancing to the lyrics. Stick a pin in it, because this video of how the Flewellen son Emmett came to be is a pathetic fallacy for what's to come.
Come take one more ride, but nobody can. Let me make you ball out for you, but me done.
This is Mrs. Flewellen before the fame. She's an RN that quit her job quit a 9-to-5 to pursue social media full time. Her prior profession is very relevant, however, for the flewellen fam law, so keep it in mind. But the problem with making the switch to social media full time is that means their income will be dependent upon the content she makes. And the content she makes is predicated on her children. Children that cannot consent to being a part of the family business of social media, which effectively makes them slaves. Aye, aye, Captain. Child labor also means that it robs them of an unmonitored childhood. The embarrassing growing pains of being a kid is now magnified across their millions of followers rather than their family. Literally from birth. I mean, in the case of Nika Diwa and them, like they're literally posting videos before the child has even entered the world itself. All of that is now being done at scale and being disseminated at scale. But the most pernicious thing about pursuing social media full-time when your content is your kids is knowing how volatile these algorithms are and how much they feed on the basal desires of human beings. Because social media is saturated, oftentimes the most extreme content cuts through the noise. It's a psychological concept called deviant amplification, which essentially is that the deviant behavior is incentivized by the reactions to it. And in turn, that begets more deviant behavior. So not only from the initial malefactor, not only from the initial person that does it, but even people who haven't exhibited this behavior before, they will now attempt it because they see that it got attention, and that's what we want, despite the fact that people act as though like they don't seek attention. Like we do, we're social beings. The fact that that happens, you will have a niche of people gravitating to the same social media practices because they see that one person is able to do it successfully. Rage bait is a great example of this. I mean, clavicular is basically the logical conclusion of your Aiden Rosses, of your XQCs. Making fun of black women into success is one of the longest standing tropes next to minstrelsy in itself. All of these things are examples of deviance amplification because by doing it and seeing that it's done well, other people with less scruples will then try to do that. And once you add capitalism into the mix, and more importantly, survival into the mix, because this is their livelihood now. This is what they are doing in order to feed their family. Suddenly you have a recipe for a particular brand of family content that commodifies the children in the worst way possible. I mean, the baby barely even finished cooking and they got the child sleeping in front of the camera. Why is the baby head not being propped up? That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. And I've been here before. I had to learn that because being socialized as a young boy in the Caribbean means that holding babies is something that we didn't get to do, which is unfortunate because by the time it's time to be a dad, I have to learn the job on the job. And I've never felt more than a failure in my whole life than learning on the job from my wife, who was very patient with me. You will never feel more than a failure than trying to put your son's diaper on. He's bawling, you're sleep deprived, and you're looking at this child who is dependent upon you for a living, and you can't help them here. That is the most helpless. The patriarchy hinders yet again. Exactly. That's the way that you get these dads that look so inept on these like cartoons. All cartoons have absolutely garbage fathers. In Daria, y'all will take me to task over Goku being a deadbeat. Peter Griffin, of course, the dad of Dexter's Lab. Homer Simpson strangled his son in the intro. We could find like Sakurs, we could find oases in the desert of dads, but that is by design because it reflects patriarchy. You know, these shows showcase how awful dads are, and it doesn't do it critically. Like, it's not doing it in a way where you're trying to analyze and say, damn, this is an awful dad. No, it's done as a norm. It is a novelty to see a good dad. All of y'all had to brainstorm to figure out a good dad. All of this in regards to this one part of the TikTok. She got this child in a headlock that I would put on my ops. Is this person's name KKK Kennedy? Sorry again. Oh God. Good Kennedy representation. We need that. Yikes. He's already starting to look black. Thought it would hold off for at least another year. So as a parent, you get a message, a racist one at that, and then you say to your children, let's get all together on the bed and make a TikTok responding to this racist comment. We used to have family dinners together. Where's CPS when you need them? Honestly, CPS could do even worse. The CPS to abused child pipeline is a very well lubricated pipeline, unfortunately. We just need a community at this point. We're all we've got.
Ladies and gentlemen, the racism inside of this app is astronomical.
It should be clear now that not only are the Flewellen fam aware that they're exposing their mixed kids to racism abound, but they purposely doing it for engagement and ergo money. And let me tell you something, you right. You so right. The Flewellen fam, specifically Alyssa, nothing more than she love than a black woman audio. Oh my God. I'm not trying to let the racist audience off the hook. Mind you, they are repugnant for making these remarks towards anyone, let alone babies that can't comprehend it. But to ignore the parents' role in the racism is to blame the dog for biting a child when you put the child in the dog pen to begin with. What's insidious about this is that it can seem like a valiant effort on behalf of the mixed family to fight against racism, but that's when you neglect to realize that the children aren't experiencing the racism by naturally existing in the world. No, they are artificially being put in front of people that are going to dehumanize them. And they're being put there by the people that's supposed to protect them. Me and my husband meeting our third child for the first time. Suave Joker says, whose goddamn white baby is that? And then she's using Tiffany Haddish's audio. How do you all know what audio this is? I didn't even play it yet. What's that audio where like I know you're gay and you're like, how do you know?
How do you know? How do you know? Say hi, Daddy. Say hi, Daddy.
Hi, Dad.
Whose goddamn white baby is that?
This is your baby, okay? He's just light-skinned.
Bro, this one thing this guy could do is eat up a black woman audio.
That one might be mine. That one right there. I'm not totally sure. Just because you name him Darren don't mean he belonged to Darren. But I don't care what this baby's name is. This baby is rice-skinned, but not light-skinned. That is a white child. That is Caucasian from the mountains of Caucasus. That is a Slavic baby, a Viking from Iceland. That baby got 730 as a credit rating right now as an infant.
You the only one I've been with, Darren.
I know you're fucking lying. There's something about having that audio play with your mixed child and having Cat Williams riddle off different versions of white. It's almost like you trying to convince yourself. The concept of a white mom mouthing Cat Williams in an effort to comedically other their white passing child has irrevocably smoothed my brain. Interracial couples that are just like being normal, they get terrible PR and they realize that we love each other, but we gonna fuck up because of the ways in which we've been socialized. So we have to actively not. It's unfortunate that you have people perpetuating it. Seeing all of this like really just breaks my brain. Like you ever see like when the SpongeBob brain crack? This me right now. Oh God. You ever see when they zoom into Patrick mind and it was just milk spilling on the table? Hold on.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
I think in SpongeBob memes pretty regularly. This exposes a subtle selection of the white passing child over the more racially ambiguous ones, you know. Because of Deviant's amplification, the novelty of a white passing child being product of a black and white couple in a way where the stereotypical black features aren't showing as prominently. Because of this, the Flewellen fam has showcased their son more than their daughters, since they know it will garner more of a reaction, which means that their daughters don't get the same attention. It's very interesting, like when people talk about mixed baby craze and biracial baby craze, because it's not all biracial babies, you know, it's a specific type of biracial baby that is fetishized because of the ways in which that works. The Flewellen fam has showcased their son more. And while the parents may not necessarily make that same calculation when the cameras are off, I like to hope, I promise you it won't register to the children that they're just showing off Emmett for content, which in itself is awful, mind you. But the line between their business and their upbringing is blurred. Because as a child, all I'm gonna see is that my parents aren't picking me. My parents aren't spending time with me. They're filming Emmett. That resonates even more when you compound that the more racially ambiguous kids will deal with bouts of misogynoir, not the same type of misogynoir the dark-skinned black girls face, but misogynoir nonetheless. There's a conflatance of factors that will result in different levels of neuroses before these kids can even formulate their identities good. And they're experiencing that under the panopticon of the comment section. Yeah, the eldest daughter syndrome. That's it. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Ooh, she gonna mommy them little black girls. Them, oh God. The eldest daughter already becomes the deputy mom, and let alone that being the closest black girl. That said, when they do showcase the Flewellen girls, it goes a little bit like this. Mom's at the beach. Mind you, if I can't see my foot in the water, I ain't going in it. I know that's a little Bahamian bougie. I know that's a little bougie because I'm from the Bahamas. There's this place inside Iowa that's literally called Skunk River. I say y'all niggas out of y'all. Mine! What you mean you want me jump in my jockeys in Skunk River? Who said for to have a yeast infection? Anyway, let's watch this, please. So that's a macroaggression for me.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't.
So we're getting into it. We're getting into it. We're getting into it, right? Had this been between family members, sure. I live in the Bahamas. Stores closed on Sundays, so normally that's beach day. Families walking in the road, grilling on the beach, having a good time, that's fine. The difference is that you put in your racially ambiguous child, and black girls get sexualized by default. So let's start there. But you go put the baby in the sand, shaped like when Squidward eat all the Krabby Patties, and you gotta have the child look back at it, knowing fully well that there's a demographic of your audience that need to be on several lists. And it is that deep indeed. I am that woke. I must have just watched SpongeBob recently. No, but I need to. Before you think that this is a one-off, Exhibit A. I can't see how many shares this have, but I do know that this video performed 9 times better than the channel's average performance. I wonder why this video has 14 million views. It was just uploaded in February. It's March.
What is your favorite part of your daughter's solo?
Your breath is fresh air.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pulling the plug on that one. So like, we don't do this over here. We don't have the same dance mom culture. I don't think we have an industry of little white girls humping the floor. I don't know what's worse though. The fact that dance moms and the industry of making little girls dance like flappers in a cabaret before they can even say onomatopoeia, or the fact that the influenza family literally serving soft core of their children to predators to the tune of millions. They legit pimping out their kids worse than Wayfair. If everything you've seen so far wasn't bad enough, it's time to get to the arguably the worst aspects of the Flewellen farm, and that's child endangerment. Let me pause it right here because this is a very important part right here. There's some endearing parts about this. The dad is active, which should be the norm, but we know it can be rare. And this is a critical time, especially for anyone that has kids. Those first few months full of sleep deprivation, and it could literally be trial by fire. But that said, I want you to look closely at the bassinet part. Bassinets can be tough. But it's best practice, y'all let me know if I'm wrong, it's best practice to not have anything else inside a bassinet other than a snug blanket at most, but no toys, no bottle. Having pillows can risk suffocation and increases the chance of SIDS. Now, the Flewellens seem to have a particular type of bassinet called a snoop. And the snoo essentially swaddles, wraps you up real tight. It basically swaddles the child, and that simulates being in the womb, which then makes the baby feel safe. I'm not completely sold on that, but I might just be a panicky parent, Alyssa got swaddle the baby. As you can see, the baby all burrito up, right? She got swaddle the baby. Something that this bassinet does already for the baby. So not only does that make it redundant, but it also makes it an unsafe sleep environment. To some folks, that might seem small. It is literally the difference between life and death. Baby also shouldn't be inside the bed. It's not best practices, but I mean, she had the baby up inside the bed. As you can see, this is probably not a good time to have the baby inside the bed, because if you sleep in, and I get it. Like I said, I get it. Sometimes the baby don't go to sleep inside the bassinet. Specifically, it's very difficult for you when you're sleeping to not just roll over, and not only that, but like if the baby roll into you and then the baby can't like have the nose and everything like that, you kind of, so I assume that she has the baby inside the bassinet like this because she's trying to have the baby sleep a little bit longer so then she could get more sleep. I understand you're sleep deprived. I have empathy for that. But babies aren't able, nor are they supposed to sleep for extended periods of time at this age. They can't access that level of sleep yet. Every hour, the baby waking up. So for folks that don't have any kids, every hour, the baby waking up. To not only subject the baby to this, but to do this in front of an audience of millions who have bought products from you that you've put in front of them before, you're influencing inexperienced parents to their infant's peril. And I wish this was the worst of it, but I say at that spot, for the flewellen farms, brace yourself for this. Bonnet brand. So it says your baby doesn't need a bonnet. One thing this gal could do is use a black woman audio, my lord. I don't think I've actually heard this woman speak. Shorty Jack Harlowin. This Jack Harlot blood. The Yakubian concept of a white mom with a black man making a bonnet brand and advertising that bonnet brand with an audio made by a black woman. After decades of black women getting called everything but a child of God for wearing bonnets, and bonnet culture becoming a symbol for ghetto and ratchet culture. All for this gal to turn it into a business because she got mixed kids. This have me like SpongeBob. I know there's another SpongeBob meme. This have me like SpongeBob sitting down. This have me like this, my lord. I'm all for creators building businesses that break them out of the cycle of having to resort to content that they don't want to make, or, resort to content that exploits their kids. But that's just it. Like, they're still exploiting people. Not only are they now exploiting their kids, but they're also exploiting their audience. Because not only is this another franchise in the Flewellen sweatshop, but it's a scam.
The other day, somebody comments, "What is your opinion on silks?" I said, "What's silks?" But in my head, I think, oh, okay, it's a bunch of product made out of silk, right? You would think. I open the website and I find out that Alyssa owns this brand. As always, she's got those kids clocked in to be exploited. What do they sell? Oh, just the classic, viscose pajamas. It is illegal on a care label to call viscose bamboo. You can say viscose from bamboo, which you see they do right here, but then you have the description. We love our stretchy and soft pajama sets crafted with bamboo and spandex.
And big up Mallory again for breaking the story. Love me some white on white crime. It's incredibly dangerous considering that babies are supposed to be wearing what parents believe to be silk when it's actually viscose. And there's been whole studies discussing the ethics as well as tangible dangers of viscose as a fabric itself. Like this one right here, discussing about the hidden harm caused by viscose rayon and the cellophane industry. It's a very commonly used substitute. It's a cheaper substitute. That doesn't stop it having all of these dangerous qualities to it, not only when making it, but also when wearing it. It's also just fast food fashion. It's in a lot of those brands like Fashion Nova, Shine, I don't know how you pronounce it. It could definitely be dangerous, especially if you're considering that children who haven't built up their systems to defend themselves. So to put that on a baby, thinking that, as a parent, thinking that it's actually made out of silk, I would be jumping down somebody's throat right now. His skin is the largest organ. Like literally things just get into your body via your skin. A lot of black women specifically end up falling victim to a lot of the shortcuts that the fashion industry makes. Not only the fashion industry, but also like the pharmaceutical industry in general. Y'all remember that they had to recall Johnson & Johnson. I mean, there's lie. Particular relaxers have been linked to cancer. They used to conk your hair, carcinogens, all of this. Who is most affected by the makeup of these products? It's oftentimes black women. And of course, if black women are using it, then potentially black babies and children inside black households. And also, because of the intersection between blackness and capitalism, if you are low income, if you're like a single mother to an extent, and you are purchasing things to take care of your child, and then you bring that into the household, like lead poisoning in Baltimore, that was by design. That engendered a whole generation of specifically black people because it was lead-based poisoning in lead paint that were in low-income houses that were disproportionately housing black people. So a whole generation of people that were in those low-income households now have a bunch of different complications relating to lead-based poisoning. The Flint, Michigan water crisis, all of these things. So it is that deep when you think about the fact that you have a white woman also using her proximity to black culture by way of her having a black man, and then therefore getting into the bonnet industry.
They sell bonnets, right? Kind of a big part of her brand. And they are marketed as satin bonnets. Nowhere in the descriptions do they list a fiber content. They say, our satin bonnet is breathable yet durable while being soft to the touch for even the littlest of hands. The quality speaks for itself with our double-line fabric and adjustable strap, strand for women and children of all sizes and head shapes. So I read that and I went, oh, it's polyester. You're a company called Silks and your bonnets are made out of polyester, aka plastic. But, before I jump to conclusions, I went ahead and emailed their customer service to make sure I was right. To which they said I was right. Oh, but it's high quality satin. High quality plastic, everybody.
When Mallory broke this story, the white side of short form content that I affectionately call Cock Talk was in a crisis. And the Flewellen family was fighting for their life.
I'm officially down the Silks rabbit hole. And I found a post from a family friend from 2024, and it literally says bamboo pajamas, but she can't market them as pajamas because they're flammable, yet she's marketing them as pajamas. And she literally on her website has a baby asleep wrapped in a swaddle, in this flammable swaddle. But it's just loungewear, you're not supposed to sleep in it. So why do you have a sleeping baby wrapped in the swaddle? And why do you have people wearing these as if they're not pajamas? Like she has people like playing baseball in pajamas, maybe trying to get the point across that it's just loungewear, but like people don't wear loungewear like that to play sports. The whole thing is just very confusing to me, but I saw the girl's video that reported her to the FTC and everything. And I just don't understand how she thought she could get away with like marketing these pajamas as just lounge sets as if no one's going to try to sleep in them when they're literally pajamas.
The reason why she thought that she'd get away with it is because I've told you all before, like, look, white supremacy is killing you all. You know, the same white supremacy that has caused you all to jump off of the cruise ship, causes you all to jump into animal enclosures and get eaten by lions. The same white supremacy that has caused you all to go into the forest looking for whatever that sound is in the Appalachian Mountains, knowing fully well that y'all ain't supposed to do that. The cave diving gene, because y'all don't have stories where bad things has happened to y'all. Black people always have bad stories where things happening to them. Good things has happened to y'all. Things work out in the end for white people. So white people is be thinking, you know, after they read all of these stories, white people is be thinking that, oh, okay, well, you know, things can work out for me. Yeah, you see this? Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all need to have more stories with bad things happening to y'all, and y'all need to tell them, you know, to the kids so that they know that, wait a minute, I'm not impervious to pain. I'm not Mr. Incredible. I could literally die. And when y'all realize that, I think that honestly, that's gonna save a lot of y'all. I'm looking out for y'all. There were hundreds of videos coming out about this brand. And instead of the Flewellen family taking ethical steps to atone for or even amend their product, Alyssa found it fit to take to main. Alyssa found it fit to take to main and address the creator that broke the story in her comment section.
It was for Alyssa Flewellen. Alyssa, you really f***ed up when you left that rude-ass, snarky comment on my Instagram post. In case you need a refresher, here it is. Alyssa says that I should try to start a business myself too, because it would be much more productive than spending my time bashing other people's success and hard work. Well, Alyssa, are you aware, I think you are aware, that a lot of what you are doing with your brand is illegal? Right here on the homepage of your website, which is called Silks, and doesn't have a single product actually containing silk. It says, this brand is the first family matching sets and bonnets that won't slip off your littles' heads at night. First of all, apostrophe S should be in the littles, grammar error there. But at night. Really interesting that you chose to add those words, at night. Because I know you are very aware that all of your loungewear sets don't pass testing to be sold as sleepwear, as pajamas, yet here you are making a lot of these in prints that are clearly intended to be sleepwear. I've personally never seen anyone market a set to be worn during the day as dreams, and also having, you know, stars and stuff. But again, you are very well aware that it would be illegal to market them as sleepwear because they don't pass testing, which you say all right here. So why is it you are also photographing a lot of them with these bonnets, which clearly are worn when sleeping? And back to your words here at the homepage, at night.
So Shorty was just lying. She used the kids as models because she didn't want to pay nobody for real blood. But despite these scathing videos, the Flewellens are doing fine with millions of followers that they pimp their kids to regularly, which is a theme that we will see throughout the family vlogging sphere. This is not the first nor the last family vlogging channel that also happens to be Shonda Rhimes' Wet Dreams. No matter how innocuous or innocent these family creators come off, there's often this underbelly to them that serves the seediest demographic of social media. And it's not just the Flewellens, it's a system. And it's important to make these videos because tangible changes are actually being made. There are new laws to protect the rights of child family vloggers. At least they trying.